How do you sell to people who don't want to be sold utilizing this unusual technique? Today, I'm going to be taking you behind the scenes to this coaching session to show you why, when it comes to world-class marketers and closers, most of them will utilize this technique where they are closing you before you even realize that you're being closed. And when you understand this one technique and when you incorporate it in your sales process, in your videos, in your presentations, in your webinars, it's going to take your conversion to a whole new level. Let's begin. Michelle, if you could just share with us, what it is that you did, we'd love to be able to learn from your journey of launching your brush calligraphy workshop online. So what did you do in this past week in order to make this happen that you feel made a huge difference for you?
Okay, firstly is the idea. It's like because all along I've been wanting to launch my course, like how to have meaningful conversations with our children. But it's a long process, a lot of things I need to prepare. Then I was thinking, okay, what's something that I can do straight away, So I was thinking, my partner actually, she knows how to write calligraphy. I was thinking, okay, why not we just infuse calligraphy plus parenting together, just to launch to our own audience first, because I haven't built on my funnels yet, so we want to test the market as well. So we just go for it. Then we are very encouraging. It's there are people who sign up for it. Then we just do the workshop and prepare the workshop. The flow is I've been thinking what have I learned all along and implement it. So it's sharing of the personal stories that are relatable because we are both mothers. So it's what our stories about, what we have, how we actually spark curiosity with them, etc. Stories that they can relate. And also the value marinate. It's purposely explain certain items during the workshop that are meant for the bonuses to be reviewed. Like for example, I show them the color blending. It's how you blend two primary colors together, how it looks like. They will get this template after that. So we show that during the workshop and demo is how to mix the colors. And also the practice guide sheet, I purposely show them that. Then they will get that as bonuses if they sign up. So that helps us to smoothen the process. And also each point in the upsell comes with a benefit. I feel that makes it more attractive. Like for example, I say 6 times fortnightly live virtual group coaching session so that you can practice and learn in a safe space. And also constructive feedback on how to improve the strokes, so that you can write confidently. So it's each point I really come up with a benefit,
So the moment you had this idea, where you thought to yourself, hey, you know what? I want to do this brush calligraphy workshop. How long was that ago and what happened in between, from idea to execution?
Fast.
When was the first time you thought to yourself, you know what? I think calligraphy might be a good idea?
I think the idea comes for about 1 month. Then the execution, the planning takes another 2 weeks because I just launched last week. Yeah, I think the whole process about 1 month.
Okay, guys, so hopefully we're starting to see this main thing here, okay? I know that for some of you, you're analyzers. Some of you have been thinking and pondering and doing a cost-benefit analysis in your brain for months now. And after months, some of you have been just overthinking it. Sometimes it's all about failing faster. Now, I'm not emphasizing on this because of the results you got. So happened, this is an amazing first attempt. And this is something I want all of you to think about because this is huge. You must always think about in your pitch, in your content, what is your value marinade? So back to a facial example. Can you imagine if right now during the facial, she says something along the lines of, oh, I noticed that there's this scar on your cheek over here. How long have you had that scar? And I'll be like, it's been with me for the last 15 years. Oh, okay. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to put this vitamin C brightening serum on your skin over here. Because what that does, it will actually brighten your skin and lighten your scar. Now, what is that doing? That's a value marinade. If she comes to the close after, which there's always a close, that's when she can take up the serum and say, oh, remember the vitamin C I was telling you about earlier? Now, if you want to lighten your spots, this is a great way to do it. Rather than, oh, sir, right now we have a promotion. If you sign up for 5 sessions, you're going to get 3 sessions free. There's no value add. There's no storytelling. There's no messaging. There's no education involved in the sale. If you want to sell online, it's not about closing during the close. The entire presentation is a close. So value marinate is how you start thinking about incorporating the value of what it is you're about to sell as part of your content. And if you can do that with as many items as you can, that is when they will be closed even before you reach the close. Michelle, why don't you give us an example of your value marinate so that it's clear for everyone, so that everybody would be able to get some ideas on what their value marinate would be like as well.
Yeah, okay, so during the workshop, they have the notes from us, and one of the page is the practice guide sheets. So they can practice different alphabets. So they know how it looks like. The template is one of the bonuses. So they will get this in soft copy. So that, like I say, you can reprint like unlimited copies for your own practice. And we also show them the template of the uppercase capital, but we didn't give them during the workshop. So it is meant to be a bonus if they sign up. And also we demo how to show how to color blend like different two colors and how it looks like. And this will be a template that they can have as one of the bonus, so that they will have a clearer idea like how the colors look like on paper versus on the palette. Because
Great.
really it's hard to visualize, sometimes.
Sure. So here's what I want you guys to start seeing, right? It begins with reverse engineering. Michelle identified what it is that she wants to sell eventually, which is what all of you need to do. Start thinking about the thing that you want to sell eventually, and if you were to reverse engineer, how can you include that as part of the experience, as part of the demonstration, as part of your content, so that the entire presentation, they are literally salivating at the idea of, I want to be able to have that thing. So let's do a few examples, okay? How many of you here, you are selling coaching? If you're selling coaching, then you gotta ask yourself, did I establish the value and the power of coaching? And did I, that's the next level, have my audience arrive at that conclusion themselves? Okay, so remember, average marketers tell. How do they tell? They tell it in a statement format. World-class marketers will ask questions and will tell stories to allow the audience to arrive at the conclusion themselves. That's the difference. How would an average marketer sell it? An average marketer would sell it this way. They would teach, and then at the end of the presentation, they would say, so now that you have learned this, if you want to take your art to a whole new level, in my hand is actually this AAA piece of paper, and I promise you, if you utilize calligraphy on this AAA piece of paper, it will look really nicer because, it's got this texture. This is how an average amateur marketer would do things. Teach, content, and then sell, and then close. But what's going to happen is during the close, that is when your resistance from your audience is going to be at all-time high. Why? Because now they're saying, oh, here comes the pitch. Same thing for a facial. How many of you know that after you go to the facial, you know the pitch is going to come, right? They're going to sell you a bunch of stuff, right? So rather than teaching, giving value, and then selling, what if as part of your value, as part of your experience, as part of your demonstration, you are already seeding in the power of the thing you're going to sell? So can you imagine if part of my sales process, as part of my art lesson, one session I would spend maybe 3 minutes on or 5 minutes on would be understanding the power of your different grades of paper, right? So can you imagine if I showed them like one piece of paper, this is like the lowest level grade, and then it's split into half, and then the highest level grade. So now you're gonna be like, okay guys, so the next thing when it comes to really understanding and appreciating quality of paper, here's what we're gonna do. You're gonna draw the same thing on the left-hand side. I'm not gonna tell you which one's better, so you don't know which is high, which is low quality paper. You're gonna draw it yourself, and then you're gonna tell me which one was a better experience. Which one did the ink get absorbed better? Notice one of the things that I've always said. It is way more powerful to allow your audience to arrive at the conclusion themselves than enforcing a belief on them. It is one thing to say, this is AAA quality paper, believe me, I'm the expert, it's really good. Versus, I'm not going to tell you which one it is, you try it out for yourself, and then let's see if you can tell the difference. So now, as part of the exercise, to them it's value, right? They're doing it themselves, and then after they'll be like, yeah, it was the world of difference. Now during the close, you don't have to sell the benefits of this AAA anymore. All you're going to do is you're going to bring this up, and you're gonna say, remember this AAA piece of paper? If you want to have this as part of, continuing your education with us, we're gonna include this for those of you that sign up today for our next level. You heard me say this in the past? It's not about teaching a man how to fish and then you feed him for a lifetime. No, in this world, it's you teach them how to fish and then you sell them the fishing rod. Now that's what's happening right now, right? The entire time you are teaching them how to fish. You are genuinely adding value, you're genuinely educating them, you're genuinely giving them a new insight, a new mindset, leveling them up. And now that they know how to fish, what do they need? They need to have a fishing rod. And your fishing rod, which is the offer, is the thing that will help them get to the next level. But notice, again, what's the problem? The problem is average marketers will go straight to the offer. So the third thing you're gonna get is this item name. Item name is really amazing. And here's why it's really amazing, but that's when your audience is zoned out. Because you didn't establish the value of this beforehand. In order to tell the story, you need to think about what is the lesson. So you don't just tell a story for the sake of telling a story. You're telling a story in order to teach them this specific thing. This is where marketers screw it up. They're teaching a lesson and they're teaching it like a university professor. They're teaching it like a teacher in school, which is statement, 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 statement. I'm the expert, you listen to me. One-way communication, statement, 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 moral of the story, lesson. And then when they come to the offer, there's a huge disconnect because there's no connection to begin with. So you gotta ask yourself, if I wanted to show people this lesson, how can I tell in the form of a story that is eventually going to be linked with the offer? Well, I hope you enjoyed the behind the scenes to this coaching call. If you enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments below what your biggest takeaway is. And as always, be sure to smash the like button. It does help the channel out a little bit. And to subscribe to this channel if you want to be notified of future videos just like this one. Now, some of you asking me, how can I be part of this process? How can I ask you questions? How can I have you coach me or mentor me? We want to make sure that we are working with the people that's the right fit. You'll need to fill up a form. There's a link right below this video. Somebody on my team might give you a call to interview you to see if they're right fit for each other. And if you want to apply and see if you're a good fit, then all you need to do is click on this link in the description box below and my team will be in touch with you.